Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I thought I would share with you guys a little compilation list that I had. I was going through my perfume collection and just kind of, familiarizing myself with my fragrances. Like in reality, I was just sitting smelling my perfumes. I don't know if anyone else does that or if it's just me, but like who else just sits there and like sniffs their perfumes one by one. So anyway, that's what I was doing, and I was just reminiscing on some of the fragrances that had taken me by surprise, that really I don't know, stood out and caught my attention on first sniff. So this is a very short list of fragrances that made me go whoa when I first smelt them. Like at first sniff, it brought an audible reaction out of me. And I love these fragrances, disclaimer. I love all of these fragrances. These are some of my top favorite fragrances out of my collection. Even if some of them may be a little challenging to wear, but these were fragrances that made me go, whoa, oh my God, they're so good. To me, at least. Disclaimer, to me. Everyone's nose is different. So let me start off with a relative cheapie, a good cheapie, I should say too. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is, and I think I've bragged about this like all the time in my videos. This is, of course, Guess Seductive Noir. I probably like overhyped this fragrance at this point in time, but it really is so good. I will never ever stop smelling this one. When I first smelt it, like I swear, I went, whoa. I went, oh my God, wow. This smells so good. And not at all what I was expecting it to smell like. I think that'll probably be like the overall theme for this video, is that I wasn't expecting it to smell like this. In the notes, I think it opens up with like some sage and probably some fruits, and there's white florals, maybe a sweet floral in there as well. I'm guessing jasmine. I think I'm getting jasmine from it. And then in the base, there's like vetiver and vanilla. And when you read those notes, you're like, okay, I'm guessing it's going to be like a sweet white floral. And it just smells so beautiful. The sage that's in the opening really takes this perfume to like another level for me. And the fact that I got a decent sized bottle for like, I think at the time, $22. It could have been like $22, and you can find this at a lot of stores. But for an inexpensive fragrance, this smells so good, and it smells a lot more expensive than what it should be. It's very well blended, in my opinion, and just smelling like an aromatic vanilla. At the time, I wasn't very familiar with what an aromatic vanilla would be. This smelled so good to me, and it's a forever love in my opinion. Next one, I think we're going to go more towards our designers now, is another favorite of mine. This is Chloe Nomad Eau de Parfum. And when I smelt this, I had no idea what the heck Nomad would smell like. A lot of people said that it's a very earthy scent, and I'm like, well, what makes a perfume very earthy? Now I understand. This perfume has a base note of oak moss in it. And it just brings something so beautiful to this fragrance. I definitely get that woody earthiness that the base note of oak moss brings to it. And it has a very interesting top note of Mirabelle plum, as well as some other fresh citrus fruits. I think there's some peony and like some white florals in this as well. But really what you get is a beautiful combination of those like top fruity notes mixed in with that really earthy and bold oak moss patchouli type of base note, and it creates something so gorgeous. Like when I first smelt this, I was like, oh my God, just like that. It's like, oh my God, this smells so beautiful. And it completely took me by surprise. I had a little tester when I had purchased a little tester. It came in two sets, one with Chloe Signature Eau de Parfum and Chloe Nomad Eau de Parfum, and I fell in love with both of them. Both of them. But this one made me go, whoa. I love Chloe, don't get me wrong. Chloe made me go, ooh, but Nomad made me go, whoa. It was just so good and such a bold fragrance while being so very feminine, you know? And I honestly, actually, maybe even like slightly unisex, but still very well made in my opinion. Another like top favorite, love, 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 Nomad. I also have the Absolu de Parfum, but I'm not going to include that one in this video. Love the Absolu, but I think I love Nomad, the original, a little more. I don't know. Sometimes I go back and forth, but this one very much made me go, oh my God. Because if I didn't smell this one, I probably would have never gotten the Absolu anyway. Next one I had this one in my tray back in the fall of 2023. Haven't worn it since then, but still a love, still a major love. And that is Versace's Crystal Noir. Excuse me, Versace's Crystal Noir. And I had bought this with like the mindset that this was going to be my last Versace's fragrance because I didn't have a good experience with a lot of them. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of bright crystal. Wasn't that big of a fan of like yellow diamond. I had tested the Dylan Turquoise and again I liked it, but just wasn't for me. This one, so going into that, this one blew me away. I had purchased this one off of the recommendation of Ksenia because she talked so highly about it, and I totally agree. This smells incredible. It smells so unique to me. When I first purchased it and I sprayed it, I was like, oh my God, what? This is so good. This is so good. It's a very spiced, crisp, white floral that's, I don't even know how well to explain it. It opens up with like black pepper and cardamom and ginger, so it's a very, very spicy opening. And then it mellows down into some beautiful like gardenia, maybe some jasmine. And then it has a base note of an amber with sandalwood. And it's such a lovely combination of notes that I wouldn't even expect it to smell like this. And it's just addicting to smell. Like you can't stop smelling it. I wore it and I got such lovely compliments. Like you walk past and they're like, "Ooh, what are you wearing? You smell so good." So this was a very, very pleasant surprise, and it made me just go, wow, when I smelt it. Like I said, a lot of these fragrances, like they are very bold fragrances. You will certainly smell them. They're not ones that kind of are closer to skin scents. They are very much bold fragrances. And I do appreciate that. I love my skin scents, but I do respect a lot of my bolder scents. In my opinion, they're bold to me at least. And these just like, they just make me love them even more. Now we're going to kind of bring it back in like price range. This one is an odd reason why I love this. Let me just show it to you guys. So this is Cocktail Intense, and this is clearly a dupe of Kilian's Angel Share, but I'm going to use this as a placement for Kilian's Angel Share because while I don't own that perfume, I've smelt it plenty of times, and I absolutely love that fragrance. I went to a Sephora one day, after hearing some of the hype about Angel Share, and I'm like, well, what, can't be like that big of a deal. Smelt it, girl. Oh my God, it's so good. Like the minute I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, oh my God, now I get it. So I can't afford Kilian's Angel Share. Like I can't afford a single perfume at that price point, but I have such a love for it that I was hunting for dupes. So when I had gone to like a random like perfume shop on the side of the road, I asked the guy who had like, he had like millions of perfumes in his store. Like it was like overwhelmingly so much perfumes. But I asked him, I was like, okay, do you have anything that smells like angel share? I said, you got anything that smells like angel share? And he pointed this one. I never heard of this. It's by Fragrance World, and it says it's an Arabic perfume, or so. I never heard about this. No one ever talks about this one. And I smelled it, and I was like, oh, this does smell good. Now, does it smell like angel share? Based off of my memory, I'd say it's close. It's close. And I think the longer that it's had some time to sit, it's getting better. But I'm going to use, like I said, so just imagine like I'm holding a beautiful bottle of angel share. Angel share took my breath away. It smelled so good, but I'm going to put Cocktail Intense in place of it because this also smells really good. And last but not least, it's like one of my absolute favorite, yet very, I don't know how to say this, but like aggressive, controversial to me, very bold fragrances. This is Angel by Thierry Mugler. Now, you can tell like the juice has darkened over time. I was able to hunt down one of the original formulations, or at least not original, but at least an older formulation when it still had Thierry Mugler. And this is a fragrance that made me go, whoa, oh my God. Now, story time. I had originally smelled Angel a couple years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago at an Ulta. I had smelled like the little tester ones, and I was like, whoa, I got a big blast of like a spicy patchouli, very spicy patchouli. And I let it sit, I sprayed it on my hand, I let it sit for a little bit while I was walking around the store, and I just kept smelling it. And I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. This is very, very, it punches you in the face. It's very strong. It is a very strong fragrance. And it's a very bold fragrance. But it is absolutely gorgeous. So, I went on my little rabbit hole reading up about Angel because it's a very old fragrance. This has been around since 1998, so it's about like 25 years old. It's almost pushing 30 years old. And I'm dating myself. I'm dating myself too. Now, I've never had the experience of wearing Angel like that, and I'm still almost like afraid to wear this one. It's very, very bold. My mom is more familiar with Angel, and even she says that was a strong perfume back in the day. So again, I'm doing a little bit of research, and I read up about it, and a lot of people said that over the years, through companies buying it and changes in formulation, either due to regulations with the perfume industry, or just cheaper in costs for production, it's kind of what they say water down the scent. Now this compared to the fragrance that I had smelled about 4 years ago, I will say that there is a big difference. But I think with this being older and having so much time for the juice to darken, there is a hefty dose of like vanilla in this, as well as a hefty dose of patchouli. Oh my God. This one is astronomically strong. It's, like I said, a very bold fragrance and a very sweet yet spicy fragrance. I swear I have never ever smelled something like this. And I give so much respect to the perfumer and to Thierry Mugler, who had thought of and created this concept. This is not anything that you would have ever smelled. I'm even like afraid to spray it because of how strong it is. It's a very spicy mentholated patchouli with like everything but the kitchen sink in it. It has cotton candy, it has honey, some sort of berries, vanilla. It's got some fruits in the opening. It's got a whole slew of florals that you wouldn't expect, but it blends so beautifully. And I'm so happy that I was able to purchase an older formulation. And granted, this is less than an ounce, but to be honest, I might, knowing myself, like I myself wouldn't need any more than this, because really just a couple sprays of this should be good. I also own the Eau de Toilette, the 2019 version of the Eau de Toilette, which is what they say supposed to be very similar to the original, just in a lighter, fruitier formulation. And I do agree with that. I will say that the Eau de Toilette is a much more wearable version if one finds this too strong. But when I sprayed this, my eyes rolled to the back of my head. I was like, oh my God, wow, just wow. Like that's all that I could say about this one. And it's had its heyday, but I think like it still deserves all the credit and respect that it gets, because it's such a unique fragrance. And I think that's what all of these have in common. They're just such unique fragrances to me. You know, aromatic vanillas, fruity chypres, but this with a nice dose of oak moss. You have your spicy, very spiced white florals. You have your boozy, woody fragrances. And then you have, you know, just an incredible sweet patchouli fragrance. These were scents out of my quite large collection. These 5 fragrances just made me go, oh my God, wow. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to know, what were some fragrances that just blew you away at first sniff and continue to blow you away every time you wear them? Because I can say, like, anytime I wear these fragrances, I still constantly fall in love with them. Anytime I smell them. Talk to me in the comments below. I definitely want to know. What are some of your opinions about any of these fragrances too? Has anyone tried them out? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to. I always appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.